The Shadow's sassy comeback. I always knew my shadow was a bit of a character, but things took an unexpected turn when I decided to tell it off one day. It all started when I caught sight of my shadow looming too close for comfort. In a moment of frustration, I snapped, "Back off." To my surprise, it responded in the most sarcastic tone, over my dead body. From that point on, our banter became an everyday occurrence. We were like a dark comedy duo, with our witty exchanges and playful jabs at each other. The more we sparred, the more I realized how much I enjoyed our interactions. But little did I know, our shadowy dynamic was about to take a dramatic twist. One stormy night, as lightning flashed across the sky, my shadow suddenly grew larger than life. It seemed to be absorbing the energy from the storm, and its sassy attitude intensified with each bolt of lightning. Panic set in as I realized our playful banter had turned into a full-blown power struggle. My shadow was no longer just an annoyance, it had become a force to be reckoned with. As the storm raged on, I knew I had to find a way to reel my shadow back in before things got out of hand. So, I did what any reasonable person would do, I challenged it to a battle of wits. We spent hours trading sarcastic remarks and clever comebacks, each trying to one-up the other. Just when I thought I had it beat, my shadow came up with the most cutting retort yet. It was then that I realized our rivalry wasn't just for fun anymore, it had become a matter of pride. As I stood there, trying to think of a response, I noticed the way the raindrops hit the pavement outside, creating tiny ripples in the water. The sound was almost soothing, but my mind was elsewhere. I focused on my shadow's latest jab, "You're as dull as the sky is dark." My eyes narrowed as I thought of a retort, "At least I don't have to worry about being extinguished by a gust of wind." I shot back. The battle raged on, with neither of us giving an inch. Just when it seemed like we were at a stalemate, my shadow landed another blow. "You're just mad because you know I'm the one who makes you look good." I felt a surge of anger, but I refused to let it get the better of me. Instead, I took a deep breath and came up with a witty response, "That's rich coming from someone who's only good at being invisible." The storm outside seemed to be intensifying, with thunder booming in the distance. But inside, our battle was reaching its climax. My shadow sneered at me, "You think you're clever, but I've got news for you. I'm the one who brings depth to your life." I smiled to myself, knowing I had a comeback ready. "And I bring light to yours," I retorted. The air seemed to crackle with tension as we waited for each other's next move. Finally, my shadow spoke up. "I think it's time we called a truce." I raised an eyebrow, surprised by the sudden change in tone. "What makes you say that?" I asked. My shadow looked at me with a hint of vulnerability, "Because I realize now that our rivalry was just a way to avoid facing our true selves." I nodded, understanding what it meant. From that day on, we continued our daily banter, but with a newfound respect for each other. We had faced our darkest fears and emerged stronger than ever. Our friendship, though unconventional, was one for the books. And as I looked at my shadow, I couldn't help but think, who knew a little darkness could bring so much light to our lives? So, what do you say? Ready for another round?